If you grew up believing you were too much, too sensitive, or difficult, this may be the reason why. Your needs were just inconvenient for the people who were supposed to meet them. Maybe somewhere along the way you started believing it. But here's what nobody told you. Being called difficult wasn't really about who you were. It was about what your needs required from someone else. In a healthy family, the adults adapt to the child. That's the whole point of being the adult. But in an overwhelmed or emotionally unhealthy family, it works the other way. The child is expected to adapt to the adults. And that's where the label difficult often begins. It wasn't really describing your personality. It was describing anything that disrupted the family's emotional balance. If staying quiet kept the peace, your questions became difficult. If pretending everything was fine protected the adults, your feelings became the problem. The label didn't explain who you were. It explained what the family couldn't make room for, which meant perfectly normal childhood needs suddenly looked like character flaws. Children don't decide whether their feelings are valid. They decide whether their feelings are safe to show. And if honesty threatens connection, the child doesn't stop needing. They stop revealing the need. And do you know what actually got labeled difficult? Crying, asking why, wanting to be comforted, saying that's not fair, and later setting a boundary. None of that was dysfunction. That was just a child being a child. So you learned to do something most adults never have to learn. Manage your feelings before anyone else had to see them. You started editing yourself in real time, softening the ask before you made it, shrinking the reaction before anyone could react to your reaction, apologizing before you'd even said what you needed. Read those back for a second. Does that sound like maturity or survival? Eventually, needing less didn't feel like a loss. It felt like becoming easier to love. You called it maturity. It was actually self-abandonment dressed up so it wouldn't hurt as much to look at. You weren't difficult because you had needs. You were called difficult because meeting those needs required someone else to change. Those are two very different things. Some of the adults around you were overwhelmed. Some never learned how to respond to a child's emotional needs because no one responded to theirs. That context matters, but it doesn't erase the impact. Understanding why something happened can bring compassion, but explanation is not the same as permission. You weren't difficult. You were a child asking for comfort, safety, understanding, and consistency. The fact that those needs were hard for someone else to meet never meant they were too much. The label belonged to the environment. It never belonged to you.